You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, and our very special guest today, Bengals center Ted Karras. And this guy is the real deal. Wants to be a coach. When you listen to part one of this podcast, video cast with Ted Karras, you're going to understand why. This guy has got a football IQ that is about as high as it can be. And he understands the nuances of relationships, not just with offensive linemen, but with every single teammate that he's been associated with. It's a big reason why he's been as successful as he has been in the National Football League. Two-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. We're talking about Ted Karras. Our 1 million YouTube view giveaways contest, courtesy First Star Logistics, continues with a special contest that runs until August 7th, 9 o'clock. So you have plenty of time, but don't procrastinate. Don't wait, because prizes include 2 tickets to a Cincinnati Reds game in the Boone County Bourbon Room with Dave Lapham. That would be me. 2 tickets to Cincinnati Reds game in the Boone County Bourbon Club with a celebrity to be determined later. And I know you're going to like that. It's big time. A signed Dave Lapham jersey, First Star Logistics custom backpack filled with apparel and gear, a $300 value, very nice prize, 2 $50 gas cards. Want the price of gas today? Nice. Welcome once again in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. We're, as always, in our outstanding studios, and we definitely do appreciate emanating from these studios each and every time. And our special guest today is a guy that got a tremendous amount of respect for, as does everybody affiliated with the National Football League. Ted Karras, who's already had an outstanding career, a very productive career, very successful career, but it's not over. Just right in the you're right in the sweet spot of your career, Ted. How you feeling, my man?
Feeling great, Dave. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, right in the heart of it here. Feeling like we have some unfinished business. So there's much more to do.
I like it. I like it a lot. So 4th of July recently here, spend some time with family and friends?
Yeah, spent some time down with my family here in Florida. 4th of July is kind of always the cutoff to where it's like, all right, summer's over now, really, in theory here. It's time to, not that we haven't stopped going, but it's time to, start really thinking about what you're going to do to be successful in the upcoming camp.
So you're locked in, you're loaded right now. You're ready to rock and roll. Tell us about your situation down there in Florida from a workout standpoint, getting ready for the training camp.
Yeah, so when we moved down here, played for the Dolphins in 2020. I built out a gym. I was scared after COVID. I didn't have access to a gym for about a month there when the pandemic hit. So I've, did not ever want that to happen again. So built out a gym, work out here in Fort Lauderdale, run at the city park, which is just down the road. And my wife is, playing quarterback. So she handles the snaps and she, kind of runs the drills. So it's been a lot of fun. It's always fun coming to Florida. And, that's probably why we'll never fully be out of the state. But, a lot of good work going on here in the Florida heat, getting ready for training camp at Paul Brown Stadium.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's humid in Florida. It's humid in Ohio during training camp at Paul Brown Stadium. So you're getting some good work in, and it sounds like a family affair down there, in Florida, getting ready for the season. And speaking of family, I mean, your family, we've talked about it before, but I mean, your grandfather, your father, yourself, you've all been part of teams that won National Football League championships, the Chicago Bears, Washington Redskins at that time, and the New England Patriots. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's almost inconceivable, incomprehensible.
No, it's really cool, and I'm glad that I'm the winningest and like to keep adding to it. But no, it's a lot of fun to add to the legacy, and obviously, football, even a win, is such a culmination of so much hard work and time and effort, and then obviously performance, and then to win a championship is obviously as special as you can get playing football. But the focus to even get there is day-to-day work, and I thought we had a great spring. As a team, as a unit, and as a position group. And I'm excited for what we're going to do showing up here. What is it? 3 weeks out? I think 3 weeks from today.
Yeah. I think, yeah, right on. And I got to meet your dad at OTAs. Great guy, obviously. Don't have to tell you how great your dad is, but and a coach himself. You can tell he's all football. I mean, he's very much a football guy, to say the least. Is it? I mean, is it 24/7, 365 in your family football?
I think there's definitely an undercurrent of it. I think one of the important things of, being in football and maintaining a career is to be able to get away. Um, and that's kind of, the June to July 4th goal, kind of just reset yourself. It doesn't have to be football 24/7. But now it is. Now that it's July 5th, 3 weeks out from training camp, there's no missing days, there's no lazy days. It's all systems go, and then hopefully, we play for 6 months and, end up, if you're one of the better teams, you're playing for 6 months here. So,
Yep.
it's a thing you got to prepare for. This is a grown man's league, and now it is 24/7. But growing up, no, you have to take your time away, reset yourself. I hope the guys did. I got away, fished a little bit. We'll still be fishing a little bit, but nothing like the June recreation period.
Right, right. Your dad's a coach. Was your grandfather a coach?
He was. Yep. He did a lot of things though.
And
Yeah.
you obviously have mentioned that that's something, that's an aspiration of yours, to get into coaching potentially when you're done playing football. Is that a big
Yeah.
goal?
Yeah, I think I just take it day by day. I still have as we said earlier, I feel like I have some unfinished business playing the sport,
Absolutely.
and like to play as long as I can. But I think I'd always be, I love the game, I love the sport, I love really most things about it, culture wise and just day to day existence wise. So, that's going to be a decision down the road. But yeah, I think I'd be pretty decent at it. But until then, I'm playing center.
And you made a big impression on all your teammates in a very short period of time, which is not surprising to me whatsoever. And the offensive line room, you and your fellow free agents that were signed to the Cincinnati Bengals to rejuvenate the offensive line, have made a huge impact. I mean, you look at the offensive line room as a leadership room in terms of the football team.
Yeah, I think for sure, and especially on offense. O line is a unique position in the fact that we have the most guys on the field at a time. We're half the offense out there, a little shy of half. But yeah, I think that these guys that we brought in, Alex and LC, and then pairing it with the guys that are here, Jonah Williams has been fantastic. So glad that to be able to play some football with him. And then young guys, we got some great young guys: Jackson Carmen, Cordell Volson. You know, some of these guys. It's gonna be a competitive camp, and I'm excited for what they bring. We have a very quality gentleman, so that's always exciting to go to work with guys you like.
Having been fortunate enough to play for a good period of time, in the National Football League, I remember what it was like when we first broke into the league, and I was asking questions, to the veteran leaders in the offensive line, and then, the cycle of life of a football player, you end up being the guy that they're asking the questions to instead of asking the questions yourself. The young players, the young offensive linemen, and even some of the veteran offensive linemen, are they asking you good questions? Not just asking questions for the sake of asking questions, but are you impressed with the type of questions these guys are asking you, Ted?
I've been very impressed with everyone in our old line room. From Coach Pollock all the way down to Ben Brown has had a good spring too. And the unique part about this spring as an older guy was I also was learning. I'm learning the system. It's a new language for me, so it was an interesting leadership opportunity to both learn with the rookies, all these new guys. We're learning together, and then through that process they can siphon off some tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the years, and we're kind of learning together, and it builds a lot of camaraderie. Like we'd come in, we'd look at the script the night before, and then I would have Cordell Volson quiz me, and then we'd quiz each other on what we're doing on this certain plays, just to start the day with I had him bring in just some note cards and just, hey, let's start quizzing just to get our mental processes going, because once it gets out there, the main goal of practice is to be smooth, clean, and just really communicate to not only each other that we know what to do, but our coaching staff, and that'll help, all the way to the quarterback. So it was a good spring.
Yeah, the fact that you've done it before, going from New England to Miami, then when you went back to New England, it wasn't as big a task, what you're talking about there in terms of learning new language, unlearning and relearning the language part of it. Is it easier that you've gone through that process once and you kind of have a protocol for that process, or is every one of them different?
Oh, I think that my time going to Miami in 2020 has been invaluable to show up and kind of do the same thing. The same role here in Cincy.
Right.
I learned so much. I was a younger player. That was what, three years ago now, 3 seasons ago, and that's I took a lot of things that I've learned there, especially for playing center, and tried to you know adapt them here to learning a new system and being a new leader, kind of being just a new guy, new leader on a team, what that means and how I can be more effective doing that. And I think it was, very beneficial.
How important is Dante Scarnecchia to the type of football player you are today, the legendary offensive line coach that you had in early stages of your career with the New England Patriots?
Yeah, I credit a lot of my career to Dante. He picked me and obviously was under his tutelage for 4 years. I owe him a huge debt of gratitude. He trained me in his style, and it's pretty universal though, which is nice, and you can be adaptable as an athlete. And I think that one of the biggest things is how he even looks at the game, charts the game from an O-line perspective, that I've, stuck with doing my own homework on guys, whether it's individual guys, whether it's the D-line unit or the defense as a whole. There's certain processes that he taught and that he distributed information wise that I thought was very helpful, and, have continued to do so in my career.
Do you pass that along to other teammates? Or
I have, yeah. So that'll be something, obviously I'm not going to, I'm going to assimilate to see how Frank does it too. So it's not
right?
going to be, I'm not, blazing in there with packets of information, but there's certain statistics and certain things that I've always found helpful. I'm a percentage guy when it comes to what the defense is going to bring. I like to know different segments of what I could potentially get here, and kind of, I guess, play the odds is a weird word, but yeah, kind of, you're kind of um anticipating what the defense is going to bring you. So yeah, there's all sorts of information. I think so far the coaches have done an outstanding job, and it's going to be it's a real pleasure to go into work every day. It's been a lot of fun, and now it's going to come down to performance here in 2 months.
Yeah, and as you've gone through your career, you've had really good offensive line coaches, and different ones. And as you're putting together your process as a potential coach down the road, take this from that guy, this from this guy, and man, you're going to have uh, you're going to have a nice pedigree, man. It's going to be like, hey, Ted Karras, he not only played in the National Football League and won multiple Super Bowls, but look at the guys he played with, and look at the coaches that coached him. I mean, that's all very, very valuable, to say the least. There's no question.
I'm very fortunate, and there's so many great men throughout this league, and to be able to be a part of it, and go to in competition with these guys has been obviously the thrill of a lifetime. So we're gonna keep it going though.
Who is a guy that took you under his wing as a veteran player that you owe a debt of gratitude toward? And who is a guy that you can maybe think, you know what? I think I really helped this guy transition to the National Football League, both sides of it, somebody that really helped you. And then you, in turn, pass that on and help somebody else. Is there any guys that come to mind in that regard?
Yeah, I think Nate Solder was a great older guy for New England. He played tackle.
Yep, yep.
He introduced me to so many people, and helped me study, gave me rides when I didn't have a car, and yeah, and so just was just overall just very nice, because it's very scary to come into the league. You don't know if people are going to be nice, if you're going to fit in, if you're going to be any good. There's a lot of anxiety as a rookie, and any stage though. There's going to be a certain level of anxiety, but I thought Nate really just did a great job. We had like a little book club. He gave us rides. He introduced me to a fishing tournament that still goes on in New England. that I ended up being kind of the spokesman for about 5 years. And, I did pass that along. There's a great, we had an undrafted guy in 2020 in Miami, Jonathan Hubbard, tackle, and didn't have a car, didn't have nothing, just a guy from Northwestern State down in Louisiana. Picked him up every day to go. We had summer workouts because you remember that COVID summer, you couldn't technically have team workouts, but
Right.
we were meeting up at a weight room, and I call it my summer with Hub because he was with me the whole time, and he was ended up making the team and making the practice squad. He's still in the league. He's bounced around a few teams, but he's still making it. And I take a lot of pride in the fact that he's still out here grinding, because after that summer, that was a lot of fun. Just being with a guy who was a rookie, didn't know him, and we ended up having a great relationship.
You mentioned that you built your own gym, and you've got your workout that you like to follow. Has it evolved over the years, or did you find something early on in your career that worked and you're continuing to do that? And the repetition of it is what gets you really ready in your mind, for training camp, or are you always adapting?
Well, I'm certainly always adapting. I'd say the core lifts always stay the same, bench and squat, and everything based off of that, bench, squat, neck. But I'm a big jump rope guy. I've jump roped every day to start a workout since I was 8, I would say. My dad used to make me do jump ropes. So, the core, those big cores, but no, I'm always adaptable. I try to get a new gym toy every year, something cool, something unique. Whether like this summer, working a lot on balance. So have all these different couple different balance toys that I'm trying out.
So got to ask you about TB12. Of all the things that he does so well, what's the thing that impressed you the most about Tom Brady, whether it be tangible, intangible, whatever the case may be?
His command of people throughout the entire organization, not command in a strict sense, command in knowing who they are, knowing a little something about them, connecting with them, and also being able to delegate tasks or communicate how he wanted things done. In the fact that it was, everyone knew exactly the operation of things, that how Tom wanted it. And if we did it the right way, he was going to shred people. So it was, I think, he introduced himself to me on my first day there. I always thought that was pretty crazy. Tom Brady knows who I am and saying what's up. But I thought his just command of an organization, his leadership, as far as first connecting with people and then getting people to do exactly what you want to do, is very impressive.
Well, yeah, if you have people skills, you've got a lot, man. People skills that's a valuable tool in the toolbox. There's no question about that. It sounds like he certainly has those. What about, as a player, what was it that you thought, man, he does this, I mean, so much better than almost anybody I've been around? Is there any one thing that jumped out at you in terms of his on-field performance, mentally or physically?
Just knowing exactly what he could the diagnosis of a defense, how fast it was, and how just fast and accurate that he could, as the ball is being snapped, obviously there's changes going on, but I mean, and then just to be able to get the ball out how he does, he's obviously, the greatest quarterback of all time. And it was really fun to be able to play with someone like that. And I've been pretty spoiled with quarterbacks in my career. Now coming here with number 9, so and the way you think about that when you have a really good cue like that as an O-lineman is that we need to do our part, guys. We need to make him comfortable and feel good, feel confident in us, so that he can just do what he needs to do. Take kind of the box off his plate in passing scenarios. We got that. We're not going to let anyone through. That's our job. And if we can build the trust with our quarterback, he will make us look really good. And that's our goal.
At First Star Logistics, we're a very strict company that really puts the pressure on our employees. Breaks? What are those?
That's what I'm talking about, Icky. Get the body right, then the mind's right.
Gotta get that body right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Become a star with a chance to earn the highest commission percentages in the industry as a freight broker agent. Check out firststarlogistics.com.